with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel is written to us by John. When Judas had left, Jesus said, "Now is the Son of Man glorified, and God is glorified in him. And if God is glorified in him, God will also glorify him in himself. And he will do this at once. My children, I will be with you only a little bit longer. So I give you a new commandment. Love one another. Love one another as I have loved you, so that you also should love one another. This is how all will know that you are my disciples, if you have love one for another." This is good news from the Lord. Brothers and sisters, it's not really what we do that matters. It's the energy you do it with. If you're coming here and doing this holy thing of Mass, but you're grumpy and negative and don't smile at anybody, it probably would be better if you didn't come. Because you're kidding yourself. You're not in this state that Jesus is describing. To be in love is to be standing in a different space. And if you're shopping at Albertsons or Smith's tonight, and you walk through the store with caring for the person around you, I'd rather have you do that with a positive spirit than be here with a negative spirit. Love is not what you do, it's how you do it. And you all are smart enough, you can tell the difference in a minute when someone approaches you, if there's love energy coming out from them or if it's all negative energy. You can tell it in 30 seconds, 10 seconds. It's obvious who's in love and who isn't. Because when you stand in this state of love that Jesus offers us here, you live inside of a different energy. You're not all self-preoccupied. You try to care for the world. You say, I have one life, and when I leave here, I want to make sure this world is a little better because I was here. And if we did nothing but wake up each day with that intention, how can my existence on this earth increase the quality of life on this earth just a little bit? That's the point. So Jesus says, I'll be with you only a little while longer. So I'm going to leave something here that's a sign that I'm still here. And he calls it a new commandment. I'm going to reveal myself in the presence of loving people. That's the only way we're going to know God. If you've never had anyone love you, and if you've never let love flow through you gratuitously, generously, undeservedly toward other people, you can't possibly know who God is. You can't. God is just a theory. God is just an abstraction. God is love, the Bible says. And those who live in love live in God. There's no other way you can know who God is. And you were created in the image and likeness of God. So love is not something you decide to do now and then. Love is who you are. Your basic foundational existence created in the image of God is you are love too. Now when you operate according to your nature, quite honestly, you're going to be happy if you want to pay off for the whole deal. Loving people are happy people. Negative, fearful, angry, hateful people are quite simply not happy. So you're doing yourself a favor, you know. God isn't saying, I'm going to demand this of you. He's saying, I'm going to invite you into this mystery. And so you will know in the future, after I am gone, that you are my disciples if you have love one for another. Now, I know that most days of my life, too, I don't feel like it. So you can't depend on feelings. You got to say, do I feel real chummy today? A real positive, a real gooey? No, most days you won't. Love, like forgiveness, is a decision. It's a decision in your mind and your heart, and you better make it early in the day. Because once you're a few hours into it, it's too late. Already you've taken offense at this, and you're angry at your husband, and you're upset because the paper boy didn't deliver your paper. You see, when you're not in love, you'll use any excuse you can to be unhappy. You will. You'll use any excuse you can to be irritated. And then you'll blame it on your husband or the paper boy. But you know what? You were unhappy before your husband did anything or didn't do anything. Before the paper boy came or didn't come, you were already unhappy. You were not living in love. And so this is the whole message. When the Christian religion is not producing people who are in love, living inside of God, living inside of this state that is a positive energy. I don't know what other way to describe it. It's positive instead of down in the mouth negative about what's going wrong. And God knows there's plenty to be negative about, but you've got to make a choice. And the younger you can make it, the easier it'll be. By the time you're my age, you're so set in your ways. If you haven't practiced being loving, it's almost too late. No, I don't want to say it's too late. God isn't going to give up on anybody. But you don't have as much time to make your decisions. Am I going to live a life that's going to make a difference in this world, is going to improve, very specifically, the South Valley of Albuquerque, New Mexico, or when I leave, and I've had funerals in this church where there's not even enough people to fill the front pew. Because they didn't make any difference in anybody's life. They lived for themselves and they died by themselves. I don't want that to happen to you. And God does not want that to happen to you. My children, I will be with you only a little while longer. And I'm giving you a new commandment so you'll know where I am and who I am. You must love one another.